All right, welcome to episode 54 of Black Coffee and Crime. Thank you so much for joining us. We do have a very special guest host today. Right now, she's distracted. However, sometime during the show, you will definitely be hearing from her. Um,
Hey, hi.
that is Michaela. Hey, hey. She doesn't go by that, but that's her name. Also, of course, Jackie's here and Brandy's here as well. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the maker of Correggio, Leonarda Cianciulli. I want to say that's her name. It's Italian. We're going to jack it up.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to talk about one of the best shows on TV right now, which is Clickbait from Netflix. So we are quickly going to talk about Leonarda. Very interesting story about Leonarda, but we're going to talk about her, but then we're going to get to Clickbait because we can't not talk about
This is why
Clickbait.
I did not text y'all after I finished clickbait. This is why I did not say nothing because I
Because
needed
we
all
need it to
my
be fresh.
emotions to be authentic.
Yes, yes. So here goes your church announcements, and they are as follows. If you have not seen Clickbait, please go watch it and then watch this show. Okay, because spoilers, because we're gonna talk about it. So if you haven't seen Clickbait and you want to see it, this is not the show for you to watch right now. Go watch it. It's the best thing because it's all about crime and suspense and everything, and it's beautiful. And if you have edges that are weak, be careful because you're gonna
Just
snatch them.
and just know I was like this every episode. This is my face. Every episode I was
Yes. So
so
be
weird.
careful with your edges. Go watch Clickbait if you have it. It's on Netflix. It's probably the number one show right now. So go and do that. Um, there's a lot of interesting stories in the media right now. We will probably get to those on the next episode of this show. But this week we're going to go ahead and end the church announcements. Please obey your ushers and respect your pastor. Those are the announcements as follows. Govern yourselves accordingly. All right. So, uh, very interesting story about Leonarda. Very bad grandma, very bad Italian grandma. Now, most of the time, when you think of Italian grandmothers, I think we have this stereotypical uh, image of an Italian grandmother where she's in the kitchen, she's making sauce, and she's loving it. She's making pasta, fresh pasta, and she's welcoming you, and she has this table full of food. Well, Leonarda technically had a table full of food and she shared it with her neighbors. The problem was is she was sharing her neighbors with her
With
with
her
her
neighbors.
so that was the problem.
That's it. She was
Yeah. This Brandy brought up this story. We were trying to figure out what kind of stories we were going to do, and at some point we were going to do a bunch of bad grandmothers or grandmotherly types, and Leonardo uh she fits the bill. She fits the bill. She was actually born in 1893 and she passed away in 1970. But she was active. She killed three people, but she was active for about a year from 1939 to 1940. Um, Even though she was a serial killer and she was the soap maker of Correggio, the
she was
interesting
a nice lady.
she was one of those neighbors where people were like, I never would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know she was the nicest lady. She's like kind of like the John Wayne Gacy because no one knew that he was putting bodies under his house. Um, the people would have never suspected. But to me, the interesting thing is not that she killed people; it was what caused her to kill them. So, Brandy, what is Leonardo's life?
Well, she is born to a young mother who was raped, and as a result of the rape, she had Leonarda. And unfortunately, she had to marry her rapist, who was a super old man. Go ahead, go, 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 go. He was a super old man. She had to marry her rapist, and Leonarda was the result of that. Her mom never really had any connection with her. Her mother was very superstitious and told Leonarda that she would, have a life full of bad luck.
Your cameraman needs to be fired.
Yes, Yeah, cameraman is trying to get me right.
Yeah, your cameraman needs to be fired. Go ahead.
Um, where was I at?
The postpartum depression. She's trying to get you together. She's like, you right here.
Yeah.
So
So she told
Right.
me that her life would never, she would be full of bad luck, and she treated her that way. Leonarda got older. It was time for her to marry, and she ends up marrying this old ass man who works down the way. And I get in the picture that Leonardo's family was sort of kind of well off because the arranged marriage, and her parents weren't too happy with her marrying a old commoner type man who really didn't have a whole lot. She went on and married him, and they moved back to his hometown. And she got arrested for fraud. Now I'm not sure why she was arrested for fraud. Do you guys know why she was arrested for fraud?
No, I
She
didn't
was
see
arrested
why.
for fraud. So basically, she looked bad in her home. She looked bad at his place. So they moved to a different city. And this is where the bad luck starts coming in. She was in this new spot. She thought she was gonna, start up her little business and be good. And then here comes an earthquake that levels her home. After that, she goes to, she didn't have any children. She goes to a psychic to see why, am I gonna, girl, why she didn't have no kids. The lady told her, you gonna have some kids, but they all gonna be dead. So she ended up having I think it was
girl fight soon.
Yeah. She had
three miscarriages, and then 10 of the babies died like while they were infants from sickness, whatever. She ended up with 4 children. Giuseppe was her favorite child. Technical difficulty.
Cameraman is like needs to go back to training.
You need to go to Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I was gonna say she
need to go to Jerry Springer
she
training.
got one of those Maury cameramen running through the hallway.
Right. Hey.
Okay, so while Brandy is struggling with her cameraman. Okay, so again, Leonarda was pregnant 17 times. Okay, as a total. 17, 3 miscarriages, 14 live births, and 10 of those live births died in infancy. So the psychic tells her you're gonna have, like Brandy said, the psychic tells her you're gonna have kids, but they're gonna die. So just imagine someone who's had a horrible life like Leonarda. She attempted suicide 2 times before she got married and left her parents' home. Okay, that's how bad her treatment was from her mom. She actually says that her mother cursed her as well. So not only did the gypsy lady or the Romani lady curse her, her mom did too. So her mom cursed her to this bad luck. And then to kind of double down on that, the psychic tells her, the palm reader, whatever, tells her, you're going to have all these kids, but they're all going to die. So she's already fragile in the head. And then you add that, is like insult to injury. So she's super protective of her remaining children, especially Giuseppe. So what starts this murder spree is that in 1939, Giuseppe said that he's going to enlist. Now, of course, this is the beginning of World War II. Mussolini is the dictator of Italy at the time. So Italy is entering the war with the Axis powers. And so he says he's going to enter the war. So she knows that there's a great possibility that her son is going to die. And she feels like the only way that she can keep him is blood sacrifice.
Yep. Which is weird, but okay.
So but I mean, human for human. Like if he's gonna, someone has to die if he's gonna live.
And I think at that point, especially since the fortune teller did inform her that Giuseppe was one of, the ones she needs to take a little bit more care in and, pay a little bit more attention to. I think that definitely influenced that. But I mean, let's see.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What if you believe in fortune tellers and psychics? That's fine. I'm not discounting that. But I think there's a reason why it says for entertainment purposes only. Like if you have like on the TV and it says because you're telling them information and it in small towns, it might have been while it's the beginning of the war. So of course, if your son who is
Everybody's having bad luck.
right, if your son is of age, he's going to enlist in the war. Giuseppe is the oldest, he might die. So this psychic person was most likely telling her something that would have been a probability in the first place, but it fed
Yeah.
on Leonarda's insecurity about her kids already, and that just kind of ramped it up a little bit more. So he goes to war, and she in 1939 um, says that this is what she says. The palm reader says, in your right hand I see prison, in your left hand I see a criminal asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Which both came to pass. So Giuseppe goes to war, and she came to the conclusion that, again, human sacrifice would be needed in order to keep him safe and for him to come back home. So she starts kind
Killing.
of, yeah,
The first lady
recruiting her
name
neighbors.
was Faustina Seti. She was a spinster, and Leonardo dabbled in readings and such for folks, telling them what their future and all that was, fortune telling. And she had told that she was going to help her find a husband. So she tells her to write these letters, tell her family that she's going to this other town, get her a husband. And she says, come by and see me before you go. So this woman, she's so happy. She's going to go find her a good man, Savannah. She goes back to see Leonardo.
Points if you know what movie that line comes from. So points. Okay, so she goes to find her a good man, and then what happens?
Wasn't no good man. She came back to see Leonardo, and I think Leonardo was she the one that
Chopped her up, put her in the closet.
He hit her with an axe.
Yeah.
And then she started, she said, I threw the pieces into a pot and selling 7 kilos of caustic soda, which I had bought to make soap, and stirred the mixture until the pieces dissolved in a thick, dark mush that I poured into several buckets and emptied into a nearby septic tank. As for the blood in the basin, I waited until it coagulated, dried it in the oven, ground it and mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs. Let's see what else she did.
She's the wait. Go back. She put what in it?
Flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs. A bit of margarine, because you need a little bit of margarine. And she kneaded all the ingredients together and made crunchy tea cakes and served them to the ladies who came to visit her. But her and Giuseppe ate them too.
Yep.
So she made cookies and soap out of Faustina?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how you use it from the rooter to the tutor right there. No waste.
Margarine. I'm guessing
No
margarine was a big thing back then. But her and Giuseppe ate them. Do you think Giuseppe knew what his mama was doing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think she did. I think he did.
Do you think he knew he was eating Sister Seti?
Yeah, no. I think so.
You think so?
I think she would have told him.
Sister Seti.
Well, you know what? If he dabbled
in order
in
for
that
you
kind of
to
lifestyle,
come back, in order for you to come back, this is the sacrifice you need to eat.
Yeah. If he dabbled in that lifestyle already, then yeah.
Oh, Sister Seti. Oh, so she took Sister Seti's all her bonds and her jewelry and all of her stuff. She done ate her and took her stuff. So the next one was Sister Francesca.
But did she spend the money?
Huh?
Did she spend the money?
That's how she had to get the flour, the sugar, the margarine, the milk.
Well, you said like the bonds and stuff. So like she stole her possessions, but what did she do with them?
Well, she opened up a little business. She had
She
opened up
already
a
had the business, didn't she?
huh?
I thought she already had the business before she started killing.
So she needed. Oh, we got emergency. She was putting that money. I think she's putting that money back in her business.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that's what I would do, but so next I don't know how to say Soavi. I don't know how to say Sister Francesca's name,
She
but
said
we just gonna
suave.
go with Sister Francesca. She went to
Sister.
her because hold on the internet. Because she came to her looking for a job. Now she was some soprano. She used to sing down to the thing, and she went to her. She said she needed a new job. So she was like, she did the same. She got the same script. She didn't move from the script at all. She said that she had a secretary job down in Florence for her. So apparently she was doing matchmaking, and she had a little bit of temp
Job
agency.
placement. Yeah, temp agency.
Temp agency. And she told her to write the letters and tell her family and her folks where she was going. And that was on September 30th, 1940. And so she came back, of course, to see Sister Leonarda and to thank her for her, help with the temp agency, finding her that good job, that good government job, secretary down to Florence. So
she's so
this
extra.
time, with this girl, I think this one she gave the poison to.
Yeah,
And then
poison her with the wine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she did the same thing. She melted her down. She made some cologne, put a little, Egyptian musk. Then she got down.
So let's not add to the story because you don't know if it was Egyptian musk. Okay, let's not do
Then
that.
she got down to the urban swap meet.
Right around the corner in Italy.
So she melted her down, made her a good old smell good out of her. So she made she boiled her for a long time, and she had a creamy soap. So she done made some perfume. She done made some creamy soap, and she gave the bars to her neighbors. He said the cakes was delicious, and that the woman was super super sweet. She said she had, I don't know, she came from good stock, I guess.
Imagine your reaction the moment that hits newsstand that she was feeding
When
TK.
I met Mr. Leonardo's, she just so sweet. She make them good cakes and cookies, and that smell good.
Think about it. We said John Wayne Gacy earlier. He had a barbecue for his neighborhood, and he was actually serving when he was whatever clown that he was supposed to be, Krusty Bubbles, whoever the hell he was.
Oh.
I forget what his clown name was. He was dressed up in his costume, and he had a barbecue for the neighbors, and he was serving up the boys that he had kidnapped and killed. So just imagine the people in his neighborhood, in Chicago neighborhood, who
like that's why he was heavy with that sauce.
What was his name? What, Jackie? Why you laughing? What was his clown name?
I don't know.
Bubbles, but I mean, it was something. You go to
that's funny as hell.
Like he looked like a clown. Like
no man,
scary clowns.
He was scary looking anyway. He didn't even look legit.
Okay, so
scary.
Sidebar. When it comes to clowns, this is why people are scared of clowns. The way that John Wayne Gacy, when clowns have points in their makeup, like they go out in a point and come back in, or harsh lines around the eyes, that denotes like an evil or sinister type clown. But clowns that are benevolent and fun, those are the ones that usually have like the round makeup around their eyes, like in like
Hmm.
easy circles and things like that. But if there's harsh, defined lines, that means sinister. So if you look at a comparison between clown makeup and you see the ones that have these really harsh lines and geometrical shapes in their makeup, that's a sinister type uh clown. And then those ones who have the softer lines with the circles and things, those are like the benevolent clowns that you find at a circus or something like that. So
I
that's
didn't know
how
there was
one,
rules.
huh?
I didn't know there was rules like that.
There's rules. And if you look at it, yeah, at that point you'll know that that's why people are scared of clowns. Well, one of the I'm not scared of clowns, but um I mean, think about Pennywise. If you've seen it, any version of it, the TV show or the movie, even though Pennywise has some softer lines, those ones that come out to here and go down here, and even in the eyes, they're very, very sinister looking just by those,
Well,
you
I
know.
just want to say a long time ago
I
that
was
I
a
was a clown
and-
for the
no.
clown ministries, and I was a saved and sanctified clown filled with the Holy Ghost.
You was a
You
what?
guys had a clown ministry at your church.
Clown ministry,
You was a clown?
saved and sanctified.
You was a clown?
I was a clown.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3". I was even shorter then.
And the kids don't you. No kids. No. They thought that was somebody a friend. They didn't think that was no adult.
They knew I was a Christian from my glow.
No. They said, hey, that's Keisha. They let me sitting over here in the seat. She be sitting in the style with us. If you I could, you like a little kid too.
And I had a nice, very fluffy red fro.
Can I ask you a question of the class?
I'm feeling a certain way.
I'm saying because you look like a child.
At my service for the Lord. I was a child, sir. I was a child.
Oh, okay.
Sir.
No, I'm saying size-wise. This is what I'm going on.
Well, there's young baby clowns. They clown families.
What have you ever seen? I mean, there are, but that's like a circus. And
What does
I
it
was
matter?
at church as a child, and a little 5'2" lady, 5'1" probably.
Did you say suffer the children to come unto me?
It don't say shit about no clowns though.
I was a child clown.
I'm talking about size-wise. I'm thinking compact, little clown.
No, let's talk about the clown ministry in the church. What in the world is going on at the church that you have a clown?
Because we were feeding into the neighborhood children the word of the Lord.
You guys had P.T. Barnum in your neighborhood?
No, we just had a clown ministry. We didn't have
It's
no
not
animals.
funny. It's Brittany, what was y'all doing?
We was feeding the children the word of the Lord.
So through the face of a clown.
Yes, and snacks and lessons.
Snacks was always bomb.
We did those balloon characters, but I learned how to do a dog. You pump them up, tie it up. I was very professional.
You know, let's move along because
I was thinking you were a child, but you're saying,
folks.
you're professional. Okay.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
And they
with the
probably
church
didn't
folks.
know you was an adult.
I wasn't an adult, but I probably was the same size as I am now. My mom's shorter than me, so.
Oh, you weren't an adult.
No.
Oh,
Jackie, let's not talk about the size. Let's just, Jackie, you are going way past the point that I want you to skip.
Hey, if whatever they need to do to gather the youth together in Lord and request to follow Jesus, that's their thing.
It won't be long.
Listen, let me tell you.
You
That was
will
just
I don't
scary to
want to
me.
be.
be.
Nope. I don't even like to. I don't. I'm not scared of clowns, but I don't. I'm not gonna. I don't want. I can't even get it out. Ooh.
No.
I
You
don't
hear me?
even
No.
like. I don't even like to see mimes in church. Like that. That bothers me to the
You don't
very
like
core of.
mimes and
No.
the mimers, the boys that dance?
No.
She's a
I
hater.
I
What
don't
you
like.
got against miming?
I don't have anything against it in
And
street
she
art,
like praise
but I don't.
dancing.
Oh no. If
What's
you
wrong
don't,
with the
I don't like praise dancing and I don't like mine.
you don't like praise dancers either?
Go sit your flounce. Don't be flouncing up there. Go on and sit down so I can get this word. Go on and sit down. All this
The
flouncing
word
around. I don't need this. What is that?
They're feeling the Lord's presence.
Let's go back to the story because you know I'm gonna get in
Well,
trouble
anyway,
with
to
you.
sum it up, Sister Virginia's birth sister was looking
Virginia.
for her, like, where is she? Where? And they said the last place they saw her was down at Sister Leonardo's house. So they came and did the investigation. And they also arrested Giuseppe because they said he might have something to do with it as well. Let's see what else happened. So she was uh, confessed to the murders and gave detailed accounts of how she had done what she had done to save her son from, from the war, and she fessed up so that her son wouldn't be in trouble. And
So what was when she was arrested? Was there like any like people going down the street in with in a riot type
I
thing to
didn't
go
hear about
get
it.
her
I
or
can imagine that there was a lot of sickness, folks throwing up and having issues because you done found out you done ate sister from down the street, and you done bathed in her and put her cologne on your body. But she ended up going to prison, and then she went to the insane asylum as well.
Which she wasn't even confessing to. They were trying to say it was her son.
Well, she wrote a memoir
right.
and told everything she did.
No,
Yeah,
but
but
like when
only
she was
but
arrested,
if they wouldn't have never thought it was her son, she
she
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
even
said
said
anything.
nothing. She just didn't want to have no son.
No.
Right. And what she would do during the trial is if the prosecutor got any of the details of what she did incorrect, she would correct the prosecutor to say, no, that ain't what happened. What had happened was is I used 9 pounds of the caustic soda. It wasn't 7. I used 9 because she was, and then I used some, the other lady was sweet. So, what the lady name was. Virginia was real sweet. So I didn't really need to use so much sugar.
Right.
She was sweeter than Faustina. Faustina was a little
You think
bitter.
she had diabetes?
Virginia, she might have had. She
Sister
might have
Virginia.
had.
She might
She
have had a
said that.
temper.
She said that woman was really sweet. The cakes were better,
She had a touch of the sugar.
and she had some of the most acceptable creamy soap, and the cakes were better too. That woman was really sweet.
And she died in
That's
October
funny.
1970 in the asylum from a brain disease.
So okay, brain disease. She goes to an asylum. Given the fact that the things that she did, do you think she had to be mentally unstable with the two um attempts at suicide?
Mhm.
Do you think she was insane? Because she never repented for what she did. She was very,
Yeah,
like,
she was
matter of fact
insane.
she's very deliberate. Do you think she was insane or she was just
No, there was something wrong with her.
Mm-hmm.
She had an unhealthy love for her son too.
Yeah.
But I guess she probably extra doted on her kids because her mama acted so stank towards her.
Mm-hmm.
when you say unhealthy, do you mean incestuous or just kind of like emotionally
Emotionally, like you know how moms are.
The ones,
Okay.
where they, my son is my king, he's like my husband type people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, and that's weird.
Very weird. But you see a lot of that in
Please stop.
current right now.
If that's you, please stop. It's nasty. It's not your husband. That
Yeah.
is your child. That's weird.
Yeah.
Not
So
from my kid.
go get your man. Go get you
Yeah.
one. There's plenty of them out there. Um, so like Brandy said, she did die while she was in the criminal asylum. There's a museum in Rome, the Criminological Museum. They have the pots that she used to boil the
No, you
women.
lying.
Why would you say that? You just trying to go to a museum with your class and you see your great auntie.
Well, it's a criminal.
Up in there.
It's the Museum of Crime, for goodness sake. You're gonna see that. So
That's where my auntie, my old sweet, literally and figuratively auntie,
you're
spent her
gonna see
last day.
something like that in a crime museum. You're gonna see those artifacts. You see things like that in that type of a place. So
Especially since it's not common, it's already shocking to everybody when she got caught.
there's a huge interest into morbid artifacts. There's people
Would
who
you go
collect. Yeah, I would. I would. There's people who collect paintings done by John Wayne Gacy.
I would.
You know, all kinds of things. I mean, if you go to Las Vegas, I don't even know if they still have it, but you'll see the Bonnie and Clyde car, um, which is like riddled with bullets. You'll see all kinds of things. So yeah, I would. It's very interesting to me to see stuff like that. So
Me too.
I mean, you have guillotines, the things that they use, guillotines and stuff that they used, and torture devices that they used during the Middle Ages. All of those things are in museums as well. So yeah, I'd go see it.
But I don't know them.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I want to see the pots.
Her great.
I want to see the pots. I can tell you that now. I want to see the pots.
I mean, it's the same thing to me. It's equivalent to seeing, as far as morbidity goes, it's the same thing as going to a Holocaust museum. It's very morbid to go to a Holocaust museum and to see shoes piled up to the ceiling or gold teeth and things. It's historical and it's heartbreaking and it's tragic, but it's morbid as hell. Just to see thousands of pairs of shoes and know what that means, or to see gold fillings, or just look at pictures of the catacombs in Paris, with bones piled up in cement walls. So it's the same thing. We are fascinated by things like that. So yeah, I'd go see it. So that was the Soapmaker of Correggio, Leonardo.
Real quick, Brenda, what is that dry thing you eat? What is that?
This is a mango with chili on it.
So
it might be a piece of something that my great aunt Leonardo left me.
That was a big old greens pot. When you cooking a lot of greens and you have that real big tall pot on the stove and you got to stir with a paddle.
Well, I mean, we got one of them pots that we used to make cracklings in. So again, that might have come from my great aunt Leonardo. So I'm just saying, we still got, my mama got one.
No, my mom cooking that big pot. That big pot where you need to stir chitlins, because during the holidays everybody comes to eat her chitlins. So she put it in that pot that sit like this, and it's about up to her of chitlins.
But like the cauldron, the actual cast iron cauldron that you have to dig a hole in the backyard, put the wood in. That's the one I'm talking about. We used to make cracklings. We used to kill the hog and make cracklings in the backyard. So again, it might came from my great great aunt Leonarda.
They
Um,
have, boo.
so this, if you're looking for a recipe for soap, she gave it right here. What did she say? She,
She's so plug,
she used 7 kilos of
plug the
caustic
right on
soda.
in.
So depending on
Your body fat will determine if it's gonna be
how many
cream.
kilos you use, I'm thinking Faustina might have been. She was a spinster. She probably liked a sweets every now and again. So she might have been like 160 pounds. And 160 pounds in 1930 was plus size. So in that
Oh,
era,
you got the sugar.
so not Faustina. Virginia had the sugar because Virginia was a sweet one. So you know, and then she said she cut it into 9 parts. So she really didn't have that much. So she might have been between 130, 150 pounds, maybe. So she used 7 kilos of caustic soda. That's about 9 pounds. Um, and you just want to stir it. It's kind of like when you make gravy. Don't leave it because you don't want to scorch. So you just got to keep stirring it till you get it to the
Yeah.
right consistency. Okay. And then whatever's left over, you can use that like you do blood sausage. You want to add a little flour, some sugar, and some chocolate, and you can get you some cookies out of it. Okay. So the recipe is there. I'm not telling you should use it, but if you want to make soap, not human soap, because where are you going to get the human from? And that will be murder. And then
You just
you end up
boil down some bones, some cow
just
bones.
boil down some bones, some tallow, and there you go. There you go. Going down to your butcher. Um, get you a few bones, and there you go. There was a recipe if you want to learn. All right. That was all right. So now we get to talk about what we really want to talk about.
Yep.
Clickbait.
Spoiler
Ooh.
alert.
All right, let me pull this up because I want to get the characters right. So
Alert.
I had been seeing. I'm in a couple of book groups on Facebook, and like three of them were all talking about clickbait. And to be honest, I don't really watch TV unless it has something to do with like a crime documentary. So I didn't know what clickbait was about, and I was like, So my sister-in-law, and my cousin were like, one of my cousins was like, "Have you watched it?" I was like, "No, I haven't watched it." And they chatted about it so much, so I started watching it.
My involvement was everyone was talking about it. People were like, Check, you gotta go watch it. So then my lovely team here, my girls, they were like, Jackie, have you watched it? I was like, no, not yet. I'm gonna watch it. And then they asked, and I forgot. Then they said it again. I was like, you know what? Let me watch this.
Well, I watched it because Bran called me and she wanted to sneak and watch it. The last episode without her boo.
I did.
Why?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Wow.
Yes,
That is a shady move.
Girl, I would have watched it.
it is. Okay, so
was
we started
it?
watching it. We had gone out somewhere, and then I was like, okay, when we get home, we're gonna watch it. So we started watching it. Now, this man only watches horror movies, right? And comedy. That's pretty much it. So we started watching it, and he doesn't even blink. I think he sleep because he's not making no noise. Okay, that's how into it. And I was looking like, okay, this is really good. So I think we're at 4 episodes in. Next morning, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. He has to go to work at 4. We watch it from 9 to 3, and then episode 8, because it's 8 episodes long. His man is willing to go to work late so we can watch it. I was like, we don't have time. It's an hour long. You're gonna be late for work. So I
Let me
was
tell
like,
you what I
Brandon,
did.
do I
So
watch it or no?
I went to work, and after I watched the first 2 episodes at like 1 in the morning, I fell asleep, but I woke up thinking about it. So I was like, I gotta watch it. So I had to when I went to work, I literally I put my headphones in and did my hair like this. But I was up because I make cakes. So I was making cakes, baby, sitting there.
How were you watching the video or just listening?
I had it ducked off behind some boxes. Tucked right up in there. I had the headphones in. I was just making that cake. Freezing everything. Sitting there. Then I hurried and took my lunch. 30 minutes, I watched it on there. Then when I got off, when I went back to work, I was thinking, okay, I gotta hurry up and get. I'm not even making this up. I really mean this. This is real talk. I was like, I gotta hurry up and get off.
So you can
I
watch
gotta
it.
go finish this show. So I binged it the whole time. Just binged until I couldn't, which is what I normally do. When I love, and I knew it was good because when I'm watching episodes, if I feel embarrassed for the character, sometimes I tend to fast forward a little bit because I don't want to see that. It makes me feel weird. I didn't fast forward shit. I followed through the whole. I always fast forward. I'll fast forward the whole episode because I don't want to deal with it. I just want to get on.
Right.
I couldn't. I literally. My son was trying to talk to me, and they know like I have a habit of when they talking to me. If I'm into it, I'll sit there and take my remote and I'll just pause the TV and. So I didn't even do that. He was just talking. I didn't know what he was saying.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with what happened, I told you not to watch this episode, but you're still here, so we're gonna talk about it. Okay, so basically what happens is this man is kidnapped by unknown people. You don't know who it is until who he's at least kidnapped by until like episode 6. I think it's episode 6 when you find it.
No,
It's
6.
6 when you find out who kidnapped him. So it takes you 6 hours to find out who kidnapped him, okay? Because you have no idea. You think you do, but you don't. Okay.
But you don't.
And he's kidnapped and he is made to go on video and have these signs up to say, I'm an abuser of women, I'm blah, blah, blah. And if this hits 5 million views, I'm going to die. This is in episode 1, in like the first 15 to 20 minutes of the episode.
Straight
and you're like,
gun.
This man is a family man. He just had a birthday dinner for his mom. And the first episode is called The Sister. What the sister got to do with it? So she's the one who sees the video first. By the way, she looks like Helga Pataki. So if they ever do a live version of Hey Arnold, she's got the part. Okay,
she do.
Let me tell you,
she do.
Let me tell you how upset I was about the bob. That blunt cut bob got so much fucking traffic.
And she definitely had on a wig because they didn't quite braid down the back tight enough and flat. So it had like a little hump right there because I was looking at it. I was like, why is there a hump? That means that the hair isn't braided down tight enough.
And she had black eyebrows that damn near connected and a blunt cut blonde bob. If I tell you the bob
with bangs,
I think the bob was a character by itself. It was like the best. Okay, so in Alfred Hitchcock movies, they have this thing called the MacGuffin, where they develop a story that leads nowhere. Okay, so it's like there's a story within this story that makes it seem like it has everything to do with the mystery, but in the end, it doesn't. And there's like 1,000 MacGuffins in this series where they're completely developed storylines that go absolutely nowhere.
I know, this is crazy.
And you follow it, and then it drops. And I think that the bob was the best MacGuffin because I was so distracted by the bob. The bob in the 16-inch cuffs. Can we talk about the 16-inch cuffs on her jeans?
It was a look. I guess that's what. I don't know.
She had like 3 pairs. She had a stonewash pair, she had an acid wash pair, and she had a black pair, and they all had
the same old black boots. With them black boots, you know them.
Girl, wasn't she stomping and surviving in the boots?
You know what I'm talking about? Them boot heels, them booties.
Them little kitten heels.
It's like they took a block and just glued it on there and just.
She was
Yeah.
the hardest walking petite woman I have ever seen in my life. She stomped everywhere.
Yes.
She
Okay, so
looked
I'm
distressed from the first scene. She looked distressed. Her
stressed
brother,
out.
The very first scene
her
she
brother wasn't
shows
even
up, she
missing
looks
or
stressed.
dead.
Yes.
She was stressed out. But let me tell you, if you want to have somebody in your corner that's gonna fight for you, if you're not gonna fight like Pia fought for Nick,
Then I don't want you.
I don't want you. As
I
much
don't
as she
want
got
you.
on my nerves, she fought for her brother the entire time. Okay, so fast forward past this the kidnapping. Now you have all these characters. The wife who cheated on her husband. She cheated on her husband. Uh you don't know that he knew until like episode 5. So it takes you all those episodes. This whole entire time you think he's in the dark about her infidelity, but he actually wasn't. You go back and forth between who you think did it. Who
So
okay.
I was looking at Emma Beasley, one of the women that he was supposedly messing with. And there was a little clip, a small clip where I was like, this woman's crazy. She's talking to herself. That he's not there. When she says something about the coffee, and she's sitting there and she's drinking her coffee. But the next scene, you see him and they're sexing on the bed. So at first I was like, that, it wasn't real.
Mhm.
But then they messed me up for having her sexing in the bed. So it's like, okay, she's not crazy. He really came to visit her.
Right. So they uncover all these women that Nick is supposedly in having affairs with from online hookups. And they look very real. And the women are coming forward because of course this is international at this point, and there's reporters parked outside of his house harassing his wife. Emma Beasley says that they are engaged, and she does a TV interview to talk about their affair, and that they've been
Let me tell you how
involved for like
let me
3
tell you how I
years.
knew Emily was obsessed. Beyond, even though I fell into the trap, I did. I fell into the trap that they had a relationship, but I knew in my mind that she was a little bit further than he was, just by her mannerisms. I thought of y'all as my kids, and the way she talked, the way she moved. And if you know obsession, or you watch movie with women that are obsessed and all these crime documentaries, you know that is a telltale sign of a mental person.
She
Because
was lifetime movie crazy.
she was upset. I mean, obsessed. And it
She
was
went to
weird
the
to me.
woman's house, and when the wife, what was the wife's name? Sophie.
Sophie.
Sophie. When Sophie confronted her, she's like, "I wanted to help." What, girl? If you don't get the
I think her friends knew she was crazy too, because
I think so too.
when they were
I
working out
even thought
about all the men,
I thought the friend was one of the
that the
chicks.
friend was one of the chicks.
I
Yes.
thought you were gonna be one of the chicks. That would have been amazing.
When she went to the other lady house, what's the lady? The lady, the art lady,
The one he
gallery
actually
owner?
talked to, he talked to her, but he didn't talk to her. Does that make
Right,
sense?
the gallery owner, and she bought the painting of Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And when she brought it back to her house, and the way her friend was talking to her, and I was like, "Ooh, did Nick sleep with her too?"
And the way she was looking, like she found out something about her. So I was like,
so why would you go
Yes.
buy the painting?
she didn't. Huh?
Why would you even go buy the painting? And how much was it?
And then you burn it.
Obsessed. That was an
And the whole
obsession.
time, she never met the man.
But when that crowd was like, wait a minute, what?
You did all of that, had an interview on TV, and you never met the man?
Would you tell sister? I imagine that I could have been your sister-in-law.
When she was
That's
in
how
high
she said it.
school?
That's how she said it.
Yes.
We were gonna be sister-in-law. I was
The
like,
whole time I was like, what voice is she hearing? Like I was waiting for somebody to do a voice comparison, because I thought it was Matt.
Right.
oh yeah, they tricked us with that one too.
By episode 6, when they found out who kidnapped him, And okay, let's go back. Okay, so there was another woman. So we got Emily, and then we've got the art dealer. And there's another woman who seemingly she had this person named Jeremy. Emily was dating Danny. This other woman was dating one lady was dating Nick, actual Nick Brewer. Another one was Emily was dating Danny, and the other woman was Heather. I think her name was it Heather?
Shit.
I forget her name. What was her name? I guess it doesn't even matter.
Go ahead. I'll get about it in a minute.
She was dating Jeremy, and she had these diaries, but she was mentally fragile. And it was her brother who kidnapped him because she ended up killing herself because Jeremy cut her off. And it was her brother who, Simon, was it Simon?
Their whole scheme was jacked up from the beginning.
Right.
When
Simon and his drugged out friend who kidnapped him and made him do this confession on video and all of this stuff. And
was it Kate?
No, was it Janine? Janine. It was the blonde chick.
It was Janine.
Yeah. So she kills herself, and it's her brother that gets revenge, who starts this whole thing. And so you're going back and forth between the now and the past, and they'll tell you 2 weeks ago, 11 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 years ago, whatever that is. So her brother kidnaps Nick, and him and his drugged out friend to kill him. And
speaking of them really quickly, I thought Jeremy had the power. Because remember when the drugged out friend goes, well, maybe I'll just tell the police on you. His reaction, because remember, this is before we found out what's going on, his reaction and the way he answered the call, I assumed he was the man in power, but he is not the man in power. It was the drugged out friend that was the man in power. So I was shocked by that. I was like, wait a minute.
He don't even have a dental plan, so he can't make no plans.
My sister was laughing at you.
He didn't got a dental plan,
but he was heavy in. Yeah, it was the drugged out friend who was the influencer, because Simon didn't even want to kill him.
No,
like as they kept approaching the 5 million,
he knew in that moment.
He got revved up by the crystal meth. By
the friend, yeah. Most definitely. The friend, what when you're on some shit, you want to go.
Because he smoked that, definitely smoked that pipe.
Did
the crack?
Did
the crack?
And they had no shame doing it either. So the closer they got to the 5 million,
looking that old glass,
the more nervous that Simon got, because he really didn't want to do it. And at the same time, Nick is talking to him. It's like, I didn't do this. Who is your sister? I don't know her. And they whooped Nick's ass. I'm gonna tell you that. They whooped his ass.
Poor guy.
He got his ass.
When he started crying. They whooped his ass so bad he cried.
Yeah.
Were you surprised when he said that he didn't know those people? Or you already knew that it was some kind of like catfish situation?
I was thinking at that point that I was straddling the fence when Nick was saying, who is your sister? Because technically he doesn't know who Simon, he doesn't know who Simon is. So of course I'm gonna be like, who's your sister? Who are you talking about?
It was the second passionate, I don't know her. That's when I was like, wait a minute.
And that's when I was like, it's Matt.
I wasn't thinking Matt at that time. I didn't
think Matt. I didn't know what was going on. But that's good.
I thought Matt from episode 2, when one of the girls from the team was trying to talk to Sophie, and Matt was like, go in the building. I said, no, he don't want something to be told.
That was something that was suspicious to me, but I couldn't put it together. I was like, why
he did her back too, and that's why I was
when that happened, I thought it's because he was hiding Nick's secrets.
Yes.
So because he was a really good friend, so he was hiding his secrets and like, hey, don't be talking about my friend. We got stuff going on. Don't be doing that.
In the first episode, when Pia went to the school to see if Nick had shown up for work, when she saw the video, she went to the school to see if he showed. The dark-haired volleyball student, she was gonna go towards Pia, and Matt pushed her back. And I was like, why is he doing that? And then later on, I was like, oh, Nick is having an affair with her too. So he didn't want her to talk to Pia. And so, all these little pieces are going together. But anyway,
so when the volleyball girls were, because she kept saying, ask him. Was him Matt?
Yes.
So the whole got
She wasn't
doggone
talking
time,
about Nick.
I was thinking
She
Nick.
was talking about Matt.
And now that you just referred it to my head, and I put remembered everything right into my head again. I'm like, and she never was talking about Nick, but the point of the view was to make you think she was talking about Nick, but she was talking about Matt the whole time.
But I was thinking
Red herring. I don't know who wrote this, but whoever wrote this was a genius.
They need to be knocked out.
They were a genius.
It was genius. Genius.
Okay. You know what? Another thing that threw me off was it AV 5000.
The girl,
the son's online friend, because I'm like, who does he keep talking to? And then that AH 5000. I was like, this is the catfish.
Try to keep up on the case.
Right. I was like,
I thought it was just a friend.
No, I was thinking that this is the person.
He started going crazy and
because he's giving all the information. Every time there's something new that happens, the son is on the phone. So I was like, this is the catfish. This is how they know so much about his life.
I didn't think that until they played that last text message before they went into the sun. And I was like, wait a minute. Other than that, I thought it was just friends. Until that moment.
I didn't. I thought it was the catfish. Once I figured out that there was a catfish, I was like, this person is it, because he's on the phone all the time. This is how they know so much about the kids, the wife, the everything.
The second I figured out it was a catfish, I said it was Matt. I was like,
then I said it was Matt. And then the way he pulled up on Pia. The way he pulled up on her, he was like, so you was trying to see me? And I was like, oh shit. He gonna kill her. So my sister-in-law said that she thought it was the cop.
Wow.
The cop?
She said she thought it was the cop.
I didn't think it was the cop at all.
Him and Pia had met in the club, and then they didn't talk. And then when they walked in they knew each other. So I didn't think it was the cop, because there would have been no reason for him to kill him.
Yeah, I didn't think the cop.
I didn't think it was the cop.
I thought him and Pia was gonna do it, but they didn't. I was like, oh, they just burning up to do.
There was a lot of chemistry there. There was lots of chemistry.
But I guess like after things happened, he realized his job was more important. So he was like, nah.
I think it was the Bob.
He killed that dream quick.
It was the Bob that killed it. He couldn't do it to the Bob. He couldn't do it to the Bob.
You know who got on my nerves? His mama. She got on my last goddamn nerves. She just did. Because it's like I don't know. Pia was annoying. She was. But she was suffering as well. And she was putting in a lot of work trying to figure out what was going on. But she was still being rude to her and mean.
Do they live with the granny, or does the granny live with Sophie and Nick?
I think the granny lived with Sophie.
No.
Oh, she was just there?
She was just there. She had her own house.
Oh, okay.
Because Pia went over to her house and she was about to give her some cake.
Okay.
Yeah, she had her own house. They were just always there all the time.
Did you see her go black mama mode on that woman? I was like, but she went straight black mama. How dare you judge my child?
Yeah, so
your son out here. Yeah.
So there was Mr. Curtis. What was his name? Curtis Hamilton, the black teacher that she had the affair with. That was kind of like a misleading story for a minute there. You're thinking that he did it.
I didn't think he did it, because it was still more
so either. I never thought they didn't develop him enough. I just think he was someone she had an affair with. But of course, if the husband is missing the wife, and if she's having an affair, that that's a necessary suspicion.
And And I thought, what her dumb ass going over there? That's just
She
stupid.
was a bit unaffected to me. Sophie was like she really kind of gave into the stories. And I understand because now you have all these women coming out saying that they're sleeping with your husband.
Well, she was only thinking that because she was cheating with Tyrone.
Curtis. His name was Curtis. Yeah.
Curtis Tyrone.
But come to find out, Nick actually did, even though these women never met him, he actually did make profiles.
Mm-hmm.
So even though there was a catfish, Nick actually had his own profile. Like he did make one.
Yeah, and he did talk to the artist, just not. It's like kind of like he shut it down after.
Yeah, like he really, and she was honest about it. She's like, I never met him, only talked to him once. It was the other women that were catfished, and
you said that Nick made a profile.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he did.
Take one before they were married, right?
They've been married for a long time.
Yeah, he made it 2 years prior to him disappearing. He made his original profile. He made was
He
2
made
years
that-
prior.
He made that before she had her affair.
Yeah, he had been there. He
She
had been
didn't
on
know that he made the profile.
there. Yeah, he had been on there now. We ain't gonna disclose, we ain't gonna
That's
yeah.
how the catfish.
I don't think that he made that profile.
He did. That's how the catfisher knew. That's how she was able to
Because she
actually
found his profile.
make these duplicate profiles because she found it because she was on his computer.
Yeah, she found his original profile, and then she would have made duplicates.
Or it could have been Matt that made that profile, but there was a profile.
Well, I don't think this was the person, the person who killed him. Are we saying that the ending? Are we? I mean, if you're watching it, you already watched it.
We haven't got there yet, but I'm saying she duplicated a profile that already was there.
I think this was previous doing. Like this was her. This is what she does.
I don't think that that's what she.
For the original profile, remember on the original profile when that person or when it happened, she was fixing his stuff.
She made
and then she looked his name up, and it was there. She looked him up, and boom,
she saw some stuff on his computer already.
Yeah, she guessed his profile, and then that's how she was able to get in there. And then she was like, ooh.
Yeah. So he already had a profile that existed.
Butch Brewer, with those stipulated password for everything.
Right. So I don't know if Nick made that profile previously or if Matt made that up previously. And there was one that existed.
That was
him. I think it was Nick. Yeah,
it was Nick.
I think he had a profile before. Because even when you remember when the little Ben Park, the Asian reporter, went to talk to Matt, was it? Yeah, when he was trying to talk to Matt, and he was talking about it was either the reporter or Pia talking to Matt about Nick's traveling and stuff. Matt had this, look on his face like he was hiding, so like he was protecting his friend. So I think Matt knew that maybe Nick was dating or whatever, had these profiles prior to all of this happening. But that's how the killer was able to duplicate the profile in the first place. Come to find out, Nick was let go by Simon, the girl who committed suicide, her brother. He was let go. He figured out while he was in the back of that milk truck, Nick figures out who catfished him
immediately.
Because I was thinking, like, I was like, everybody didn't know about him cheating. Now I still thought it was Matt because we didn't have all the information.
Right.
So I thought it was his best friend.
I thought it was Matt too. I did.
It was Nick.
I thought it was Matt, but I still thought that Nick had cheated. I still think he cheated.
I don't know if it was physical, but the way Matt acted, it made it seem like it may have been physical, especially with him going to LA, and that was people he was talking to. So Matt made it look physical, but for sure it was mental.
Oh yeah, he thought about it. But I think this happened prior to Sophie cheating. Maybe that's why she cheated, because she has some suspicions about Nick. So that's another mystery in itself, because it really doesn't tell you why Sophie cheated.
I think she
No,
cheated.
because she didn't have an excuse.
Right. So it doesn't tell you why. She just said that she did it, and then he found out.
Well, she had been with Nick. She ain't never been with nobody else.
Thank
Right.
you. That's why I said she cheated. I said because she got in that marriage routine. She had never been nowhere. Here go this man. And, she been one man her whole life. Here come this old smooth talk. They talked right out the drops.
I think Curtis wasn't that fine. So I think that she did it out of revenge. I think she cheated out of revenge.
What?
I think Sophie cheated with Curtis out of revenge because Nick had either cheated physically, or that maybe she found his profile.
I don't think none of that. I think she just
That's finesse.
I don't think so.
Curtis didn't come off.
Curtis didn't come off.
She never spoke as if she knew he had cheated.
Well, she didn't have to. She didn't have to. I mean, because all the focus was on him cheating with these other women, so it didn't even have to come out that he had previously cheated, because you could automatically assume that if he's cheating with all these other women, then she could, she would be fine cheating. But then it also made it seem like he didn't know that this happened prior to. So that in and of itself is a mystery. But come to find out, the person that was the catfish was the school secretary, the little old lady who set up Nick's profile on his work computer, found his profile.
The one who was boohooing at the memorial.
Yes, the little old white lady. Looks like she baked cookies and was so nice. She was the culprit. And her husband killed Nick. Her husband is also the one who ran over Emily. And her husband was about to kill their son, Kaya.
So would she be charged with murder as well, because she was there at the scene and it was her?
Very well could be. Yes. Yes, they're in California, very well could be charged with murder. Because the laws that are now, like if you catfish somebody and they kill themselves, or something like that, then you're an accessory to murder. And her husband killed himself because he's like, I ain't going down.
To leave her with all the charges and everything, but that's her fault.
In his eyes,
when
he did it
found
for her.
out. Yes, when he found out that what she was doing, he was angry. After he done gave her all the best that he had that night, and then he find out that
that's a low boy. When they have all like, God, they should have just ruined that man night.
He done gave you the best that he got, and then
he should have got in there, got hot and bothered by Emily, and then went up in there and gave that man some old
crusty love.
Gave him some catfish, and then went fishing again. He was hot as fish grease. All these references to fish, but he was hot as fish grease, and he was angry at her, and he was like, "You need to stop," but she didn't. She didn't. So he was really angry with her. So I think him killing himself was like, you started, because he said that he was like, you started this, and I still have to fix it, because he had already killed Nick. Now he has to kill Kaya. And they had a whole get out moment when Kaya went to their house and they having tea and cookies. I was like, boy, you need to leave now.
No, they had that old creepy look when they were like, Kai.
Yeah, it was a whole get out moment. I was like
that. He shouldn't even went up in there.
Don't go. And I thought he was gonna leave, but he didn't.
He went in. I didn't think he was gonna go in.
That messed up everything.
The kidnapping?
They should have sent him on his way.
Yeah, they would have never. It wouldn't have gotten that far.
Because he destroyed the evidence. So the husband had destroyed everything. So they would have got away with it.
But OAH, she remember, because she
she never mind.
She did like the whole dark web digging thing to find out where those messages were coming from. So she found the catfish, and that's how I ended up over there. So I have to say 10 out of 10 for Clickbait, because even me being a junior Sherlock Holmes detective, I had no idea who that was
She
until
wasn't even on my radar.
she opened the door. When she opened the door, I screamed at the TV. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely screamed at the TV because I was like, you've got to be fucking.
Yeah, my son had already watched it, so he was in there with me when that moment happened. And when that damn door opened, I was like, "What? Are you kidding? I never even thought about this hoe. Did she over here doing all dumb stuff?" I was like, "Oh man!" And then immediately I was like, "Oh yep, so lonely." When they were sitting at that dinner table, I said, "Oh, lonely, look like she'll do it. Look at her."
But then all those clues started to get little things that she was doing and the looks and stuff that she was giving, and all of those things started to make sense. And I was like, whoever wrote this just killed all of my brain
But
cells.
but but
Chef's
deserve a
kiss,
standing ovation.
chef's kiss to whoever wrote this. This was like
Good job.
the best thing, the best thing. So I don't know in the future
And
if
and
there's
I try to
any.
watch a manifest, y'all, but I get lost quickly. I told you my mind be distracted, so I fast forward the whole episode.
You can't
And
do
Manifest.
that.
manifest is I'm on the second season, but I get if it's taking me too long to get somewhere. If it ta- if you can't keep me suspenseful like they did, I
Yeah,
will I will fast
I
forward that
started
whole damn
watching
episode.
Manifest when it first came out,
I
Yeah,
and
didn't.
I
I
watched
didn't.
maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and I was like, oh, okay, it's whatever. And I never watched it, so I was very surprised when it became popular again, and people started watching it.
A
Um,
lot of folks be canceling stuff too early.
yeah, they cancel shows way too early before they catch on, and then people fall in love with it. But if there's any more shows that y'all want us to watch or we can watch and y'all want us to talk about, let us know because we'll definitely watch them. But we had to talk about Clickbait because, and I know we were all over the place with Clickbait because that's just the way the story unfolds.
it really
It
does.
doesn't go in a linear fashion. It is all over the place, and you're gonna be all over the place. And I don't do I still have edges? They kind of.
I ain't got no nails left.
Brandy was like,
Friend, you had nails
first,
on?
which Brandy? Oh, that
BW?
Brandy?
No,
No,
I
she
had
bit them off.
nails before I
Her
watched.
natural
Oh, she
nails.
bit them off?
Yeah, she said she's biting them, and then she's like, and then I think episode 3, she's like, I didn't bit off my toenails too. Like, yeah. So, so if you guys want to be
I
entertained,
definitely,
please watch
definitely
Clickbait.
amazing.
Even though we told you what it's about, there's still so many
Still watch
details.
it because you're still gonna be shocked.
Yes,
You're
yeah.
still gonna be shocked.
This show is brilliant. It's 8 episodes. You will binge them. You are not going to be able to watch them one by one. Not at all. So
I
we
binge
have given
everything.
you in this episode, we have given you a recipe for soap and tea cake, and also how to
So
make the perfect. She did 7 kilos of caustic soda. That's all you need.
BW
Um,
release.
I don't even know where you get caustic soda, but if you can find some, at least get 7 kilos. That'll give you a good start. And then you use the rest, throw some flour and some sugar in the rest of it.
With some
All right,
chocolate.
with some chocolate, and a little margarine.
Now I want some cake.
Oh, I got some cream cheese danishes that I can't wait to get out this thing. So I
Y'all
can
nasty. Y'all nasty. We just talk about this woman making tea cakes out of
go.
people, and y'all want to take it to the game. Y'all nasty. Y'all nasty. Well, y'all, at least y'all didn't make it out of my great
I
aunt
mean,
Leonarda's pot, so y'all good. So we will go ahead and end the show for
but
this. What?
never mind.
Do you got a great aunt Leonarda too?
No, I was gonna say something important.
Like real
Something
serious.
way inappropriate.
Okay, never mind. Never mind that then. All right, y'all. We will see you guys
Y'all
next
had
week
us.
for episode 55 of Black Coffee and Crime. See you next week. Thanks for our amateur cameraman over there. You hear
She was
her
the
in the
best.
background. She's very good. She needs a little work with her hand-eye coordination. She's a little shaky.
She was giving us a benediction selection just a minute ago. Y'all didn't hear it.
Oh, we didn't get her selection.
Yeah.
She was trying to lead us out, y'all. Oh,
She was going, yeah.
she was giving us the benediction via Coco Melon, and we missed it. Amen, amen, and amen again. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. Don't know what we'll talk about next week, but we'll
never know.
No. So, as always, what do I say? I forget what I say. Something about be blessed, be careful, be safe, something.
Be kind.
Yeah. Be kind, rewind. All right.
Brandon, she been goofy this whole episode. So next time we act up, I don't want to hear nothing. This episode called that Clan Man Bubbles, and she been showing out.
Bye. Say bye. Hey, say bye.